Hi everyone, we got a bonus class today with the soft ball. This class is going to just teach you some really basic exercises with the soft ball. I'm using a specific ball, it's called a bender ball, which you can find online really easily. I've got it quite loose and floppy. You can use any ball that's going to take your body weight on it and that you can have loose and floppy. It's really important that it's not a taut ball, that it's not tight and rigid. It needs to have this floppiness to it. So we're going to start sitting on the ball. Make sure the stopper of your ball is pointing down and not into you. That's very uncomfortable. So you sit on the ball, and I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see. I want you to make sure that it's right under the center of your pelvis. Often when we first sit on the ball, we're slightly tucked under and it's under the back of the pelvis. Can you scoot it out and feel it right underneath the center of you, right under the base of your pelvis so you can sit tall? What you might find, it's actually quite a lot easier to sit upright when you find the base of your pelvis in that way and from the support of the ball. And yes, that's it. You just sit there and breathe. Okay, well done. Let's come off the ball. And when you come off the ball, just sit for a moment and notice the difference. Let's close the eyes so that you can really tune into. Perhaps you can feel that double dome-like shape and sensation of the base of the pelvis, the perineum muscles all around your passages, and then you might also feel that diaphragm, that pelvic diaphragm, that upward dome lifting. Just noticing how that all feels for you. And this class is really going to explore how the ball can support you, uncovering a healthy pelvis really. So lie on your side now with the ball underneath your ribs, supporting your head with the arms so you are feeling the top ribs really opening here. The knees are bent, or if this feels like it's okay, there's no excess tension, you can go ahead and straighten the leg, and that can create more opening. And you could also straighten the arm. I like to have the arm bent, but you can straighten it if that feels good. And again, we're just here. We're just breathing. We're using gravity, breath, and the feedback of the ball for the tissue in the body to respond. And the response of that tissue is to release all of the excess tension. Well done. Bend the knee, take your time, come up to sitting, and then we're going to do the same thing onto the other side. The ball goes underneath the ribs, the knees are bent, hands are supporting your head, the leg can be extended if it's helpful, and you let gravity, let the breath, let it all go. Making sure that in this position, you're looking forward and not tucking the chin in towards the chest. It's forward, looking forward. Each time you breathe out, it's a great chance to yield and release to the ball. Okay, great job. Slowly coming up to sitting, and then we lie over on our back. Place the ball underneath your pelvis. And then we let the pelvis settle and yield to the ball. So it's always really important to maximize the benefit of it, to take the time to let it go. Let it go. Always think about the big Disney anthem, letting it go. And then we're going to rock forward and back. Let your sacrum rock, moving the ball. And you can imagine your marble between the pubic bone and the belly button and rock and roll it. Equally, you could imagine that the ball is filled with water, like a water bed, and you're moving and making a wave. And actually that wave is transferring through your spine all the way up to your head. And then we go side to side, rising and falling, moving the ball with the pelvis, side to side. And then circling, looking for the edge, as it were, of the ball to circle all the way around. And then go in the other direction, exploring, or if you've already changed direction, you can also do this in a figure of 8 or a helix on 8 on its side and explore that way. And that's really a lovely way of moving the pelvis and exploring the two halves of the pelvis. Okay, let's go ahead and settle the pelvis, take the ball out. Oh, wow, isn't that amazing? So really feel now your center of gravity, your sacrum is descending into the mat and you're spreading wide. So you really feel the underside of yourself meeting the mat. Let's put the ball now between the shoulder blades. If you have it available to you, bring your arms into your goal post. When you bring the ball underneath you here, do fiddle around to make sure it's in a position of ease. Remember, I always say that there's nothing to gain from strain. So if the start position is strained, that's not the ideal position for you. There might just be like a tiny adjustment, or maybe your ball needs less air in it. Often we need it to have less air when we come to here than we imagine, depending on how tight you are or restricted you are. And breathe. Then go ahead and let your chest sway from side to side. Think of a wave moving, undulating from side to side. And there may be a little motion in the shoulders, but very little. And very little, if any, at the pelvis, certainly not at the knees. Look for it at your chest, your sternum, the ribs, waving side to side. And then let that go. Slowly take the ball out. Oh, wow. And then put the ball underneath your head where your head meets your neck, head. That's it. Feel that spread of the back of your body into the mat. It's just lush. And then we're going to nod the head yes. And as you're nodding the head yes, consider what it is you're saying yes to. Perhaps there's an intention that you would like to invite in. Maybe it's inviting that healthy pelvis. What is your intention as you rock and nod and say yes? And then going from side to side and saying no and being very clear about what you're saying no to, what does not serve you in your body, in your mind, and say no. And then circle. finding that lovely heavy head. Really important that we let the head yield to the ball. So many of us have that forward head posture where the weight of the head is moving forward and putting it much more increased strain and pressure and load and weight through the pelvis and the pelvic floor. So if we can begin by getting the head back on top of the spine, that's going to serve us well on our journey to a healthy, functional pelvis. Make sure you've changed direction or you've done some figure of eights and enjoyed it. And then take your ball out, rest your head down. Oh, wow. Really feel how the back of your body is integrating into the mat so much more. Ready for action. Let's lie on your front now. You're going to put the ball actually underneath your pelvis and we're going to do our prone pelvic clocks. So the ball is between your pubic bone and your belly button and you rest your head down in your hands and start the gentle rock side to side. Let the breath flow freely. And then make a circle. So finding that ease of movement around in a circle. Again, you can think of it like that water bed. Imagine it's filled with water and you're moving the ball, moving the water. Make sure you change direction. And then gradually let that settle. Take the ball out. Oh, isn't that amazing? Amazing. Then we're going to do our diaphragm release here. So you place it just at the base of your sternum and rest your head on your hands again. Now, this can feel a bit yucky. If it feels painful, you definitely want to reduce the air in your ball. And if it still feels painful and yucky, go ahead and lie on your back again and put it behind between your shoulder blades. We have such a lot of tension so often in the diaphragm that's inhibiting the function of the pelvic floor because they are not relating to one another as they should. The diaphragm, if it's not moving down and stimulating the organs and then stimulating the pelvic diaphragm, pelvic floor, yeah, we have some issues. You might find that you have some digestive issues that can be improved by doing this work. Getting all those internal organs to just settle back in and get massaged in the way that they should by the motion of breathing and the motion of the diaphragm. Okay. Ooh, enough. Rest down. Notice again. Wow. Doesn't that feel amazing? Okay, we're going to come onto your back. Take your ball. Okay, and with your ball, you're going to hug it. Hug it in towards you. So it's between the thighs. You might need your towel or cushion under your head just to bring you in good alignment. Or you might think, wow, doing that ball work has really put me in great alignment. I don't need it. I'm just so relaxed. And here we start to bring the legs in like you're hugging that ball in towards you. Your inner seams are coming in towards all the way up the center of the body and up into the back of the throat, and then releasing. It's not straight in and out. It's not like you're crushing something between your legs. It's more like you're hugging, loving, embracing that ball in towards you. Think about the lesser trochanters right at the top of your inner thigh bone, zipping up the middle of you. So bringing it in, suctioning it in and up, hugging it, loving it, embracing it in. And then we're going to do our rapid ones. In and all the way in and all the way released. In, they're coming up internally. It's not enough to just squeeze flat in. That's not going to access the pelvic floor. So it's really important the how, the cueing, the quality of the movement. In. Got it. Well done. And rest. Drop your ball. Put your feet on top of your ball now, if you can catch it. And then we're going to do our bent knee openings. Slowly breathing in to open, out to close. In to open and out to close. How stable is your ball? Mine is very wobbly today. And I'm going to reverse the breathing. I'm going to breathe out to open, in to close, out to open, in to close. There we go. And noticing the difference for you. Do you get more stability that way? Does that work better on this? In this case, let's do alternating. Out to open, in to close, out to open, in to close. Or maybe you're lying there thinking, breathing in a certain direction, you've got to be kidding. So you could just make sure you're breathing in and out, survival breath will do, and find that movement and that balance through the pelvis just as you are. Okay, well done, rest there. Put the ball to one side, so we put the right foot, put it to the right, and put your right foot on the ball. You're going to roll the ball away, flexing your foot. Point your foot and bring it in. Flex and roll it away. Point and bring it in. That's it. Flex away. Point and bring it in. Flex away. Point and come in. Now then, where's your ball going? Is it going in a snake? Is it going out to the side? What's happening? Can we get it in a straight line so the inner and outer thighs are just gently oscillating and working together along with the front and the back and the pelvic floor to find that straight line. Let's do the other side. Wow, who knew all these different things that we could use the ball for? And as we do these movements, we're gradually building up from breath and releasing of tension to range of movements, looking at the mobility in the body and the posture, to then adding strength and stability in, using the tool of this funny green ball. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things. I think it would be my desert island Pilates prop. Although it isn't a traditional Pilates prop, it certainly wasn't around in Joseph Pilates' day. I mean, there would be balls, I'm sure, but it's not in this same way. And as we've all moved on, if he was still alive, I'm quite sure he would have too. Okay, so then we're going to lie over on your side with your ball. So we take the underneath leg straight. The ball is in front with your top knee on it. We've done this before. Those of you that have done classes with the rolling pin, you will remember this. Supporting your head with both arms, and you're going to roll forward and back. Rolling forward and back. So the leg movement is so lovely to release the tension through the inner thigh. So we go forward and back. And then we're also getting that lovely activation. I mean, how are you going to get from there back again? Okay, so it's all very well going out, but you have to use those inner seams to come back. One more. Okay, nice. And then we're going to do, of course, as if we would do a class without it, our thoracic rotations. And the ball is there now creating some stability for us. So awareness of what the pelvis is doing. So the rotation travels all the way through the spine. So the belly button comes back, the ribs come back, the underneath ribs go forward relative to that. But it's being sure that you are rotating the whole spine without just rolling the pelvis back. There's a difference. Okay, folks, that's the last one. I know you could stay there and do them all day because they're so lovely, but we're not gonna. Straighten the underneath leg, bend the top leg, supporting your head with both those arms. The underneath leg is straight, and it is going to have some movement that it does. And here with the arm position, you might find that actually you need some more stability by having the hand on the mat in front of you. You might have felt really stable on the other side, and then you come to this side and go, oh gosh, I'm a bit wibbly, and you might need that support. So give yourself what you need. This isn't going to negatively affect what you're getting out of the movement. And remember, you're releasing out as far as you can, and then the leg has to bring you back again. Oh, lovely. We just got one more to do. I know we could do these. These are quite nice. Yes, and then we're going to do our thoracic rotations. Oh, click, pop. Obviously need this one today. So we're rolling across the back of the hand, back of the shoulders. Take the belly button with you and then roll forward. Notice how much movement are you getting in your ball. Is it really rolling around a lot? Or are you actually lengthening the inner thigh as we just practiced to help give you the slack you need to open? So even although we're keeping it still, that knee, you still have a connection. So can you feel length through that inner thigh? It's very nice, isn't it? Very nice. Once more. Beautiful. Okay, let's take the ball and place it underneath your sternum now. So, the hands are either side of your shoulders. Remember, we need to start in an easy position, so no strain. There's nothing to gain from that. So take your hands as far where do they need to go? You're going to be connecting into them. So if they're forward here, it's not as easy for you. So just find that position that allows you to connect into the hands. Okay, so the hands are spreading. They're like starfish. The elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. Your legs are really easy here because we've already done the prone ball work. Reaching your chest forward and pulling your hands, like you're pulling the mat back, and your chest is rolling the ball forward and then back down. Deep breath in. Breathe out to lengthen out and roll the ball forwards. Pull the mat back and then come forward, breathing in. Breathe out. Let your chest push the ball forwards. Rolling and then come back down. Spread the hands, pull with the hands, press forward with the chest. So you're getting longer, you're moving away from your pelvis. Breathing out, lengthening your spine, pressing forward. The gaze is lifting slightly, but this is not a neck exercise. Be sure that the chest is leading forwards. The gaze comes along with it, but the chest is leading the movement. One more. I know we could stay and do this. What we need to do. Okay, well done. Have a child pose now. So rest your bottom back towards your heels, allowing yourself to release into the lower back. Breathe into the lower back and release. It's so nice. Let's come up to sitting. I know, you want to stay in that child pose, but we've got more work to do. So you're going to come and sit on your ball again, like we did at the beginning. And we're going to do one of our favorites. We're going to do our mermaid. Remember to sit really upright on there. Make sure that the tail's not tucked under, that it's right under the center of your pelvis. So our mermaid, we're going to do our kind of seaweed side to side, but because we're on the ball, we're on an unstable surface, it gives you more sense of your roots down into the floor. So reach your arms out as wide as you can. Make sure you can see them out your peripheral vision. They're not behind you where you can't see them. They're just in front where you can. And then you come up and over. Who fell off their ball? Quick, get back on. Okay. It's interesting, isn't it? It creates a very different experience than sitting just on the floor. Up and over. Can you find the same fluidity that you would have had if you were just on the floor? Ooh, there you go. Up and over. You still want to feel the opening of the ribs, fanning out in both directions, upper ribs towards your head, lower ribs towards your pelvis each time. Oh my goodness, it's so lovely. I know, I say that about everything. I love the feeling of all of the movements. This is the last one, and then sit up. Take the ball out, just have that moment of noticing how it feels when you take the ball out. And then we're going to come into our quadruped. So we'll pop the ball between the thighs. The knees are then going to be that little bit closer together than they might normally be, but still the hands are spreading and they're at shoulder width apart. Let's begin with a cat stretch. So as you're doing your cat stretch, there's going to be this feeling of drawing the ball in and up internally. Here, so drawing the ball in and up internally, like the inner thigh bones, the inner edge of the thigh bones are sliding up, drawing the ball up, sucking the ball up internally. Okay, now stay there. You're going to rock the weight forward and back whilst you're in that position. Rock forward and back and keep feeling that ball getting drawn up internally, and make sure it's not the shoulders that are curving, it's from the pelvis. There you go. Couple more. These are quick. And then lengthen back out. Tuck your toes under. We're lengthened out, we're still keeping that ball in, and we're going to do the same thing here, rocking forwards and back, keeping that ball lifted in and up towards your pelvis. Wide sit bones as you go back. Remember all of the ideas we've talked about where the hip bones stay away from your thigh bones, which we've done in other classes. Go a bit quicker, faster, as quick as you can. Keep meeting the ball, building that stamina, and then rest there. Wow. Take the ball out, come to sitting. Yes, so we very quickly went from our lovely breathing, releasing, range of movement to, oh yes, definitely more warming, more of that strength and stability. Bring the ball between your thighs, just as we did before. We're going to do a few of our seated pelvic tilts then into our half roll back. So you sit tall. You're going to hug the ball in and towards you. Press the floor away to roll back just a little bit and then up again. So we just do 3 of the small ones, little roll backs and then up. One more. Hug that ball in. Get sucked into you. It's coming all the way up into the back of your throat. And then we reach the arms out in front. And we do it here and we go further. really bringing it in. And I brought my feet closer because I felt I needed some more assistance. Remember, not shoulders, go from the pelvis. And then over your waistband. So your waistband has to expand. Oh dear, that didn't sound good, did it? We don't want it to expand that way. You know what I mean. I want you to open out behind you, open out behind you, open out behind you, and really feel all of that goodness in those lower abdominal muscles and the pelvic floor. You're wakening up. We're awakening. Great. This is another great one for those of you with diastasis. This is going to help you to restore and recover from that. This is the last one. Oh, well done. We've got one last exercise. You're going to come to standing. Bring the ball now right between your ankles, and your feet are going to be in just a teeny tiny V from there. Small V, not a big V. And then your hands are on your hips. Right, we're holding it there. There's some tension in the ball. And then all you're going to do is bend the knees, like somebody's knocked your knees out from behind you. And then push your feet down, like the arches of your feet press the floor away. And then naturally you're going to squeeze in and up, or hug in and up, and then release. So arches go down and you come up, exactly. So it takes a few to get that feeling. All of the toes are down. You're pressing the arches, spreading the arches down. Now those of you that tend to hyperextend your knees, be mindful here. So you're straightening, not locking. Oh, that's it. So this is called standing horseback. So you can think about your rising trot. It's a bit like that. And you can do it a little bit quicker. So breathing in, out, 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 breathing in, out. Last one, and rest there. Wow, so I hope you felt the warming benefits of that short ball class today. This really was just a drop in the ocean of all of the different benefits that we can gain from getting creative with the soft ball. Hopefully you feel good from that, and we'll do some more like this again in the future. I'll see you in your next class. Thanks everyone, and bye.